What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Xtreme Nights. I'm your host, Milo. We are here with episode 12. This week, we got Ty Waterman, CEO of BKS Photographs, aka the photographer to the stars. Anytime that there's a quote-unquote celebrity, a quote-unquote star that's popping around Connecticut, and you see the photos, better believe that this man is the one behind it. Let's get right into the interview. Man, and I was just about to ask you too, like, yo, train me too until you start talking about catching grasshoppers and had to be a whipping boy and shit.
I got a one light skin quota, and I'm that one light skin. So
You can't take some light skinned nigga egos.
if we had two slots to get into Wakanda, and they only gonna pick one light skin, I got to be the one in Wakanda.
Come on, kid, I'm on that vibranium, son. You gotta let me on, son. I'll be on that vibranium. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the CBD spot for backing this interview right now. How long have you been doing photography, yo? How long has this been going on?
All right, so first of all, let me introduce Eddie real quick. So Eddie, peace.
What up, Ed? Appreciate you doing the interview with us, brother.
Ed is like I've had, we'll say, 4 people that's work closely with me. So Ed is my current main go-to assistant slash marketing slash security slash whatever. And I've started doing photography years and years ago before I had a real legit camera. So I developed my eye for doing photos. So a couple things, I'm not going to get too deep into my whole storyline with how I've been doing it and everything, because I think that's for a different show when we got more time. But nonetheless, professionally, I've been doing it since about 2010, but I've probably been doing photography somewhere close to 20 years because I worked with youth all my life. So a lot of people know me from working with kids and going to field trips and hanging out with them. I would always bring a camera and document what I was doing, and that's what got my eye trying to help them out. And within my life, you figure, so we know each other from middle school. Middle school, we went our own ways, right? I was in classical. I stuck with it. You went, I don't know where you went, for high school. And I had some incidents where I actually dropped out of school. So a lot of people don't know that. Everyone thinks I'm straight college educated and I got a GED. But I also have a college degree. But in working with kids, you tell them to go to school, finish college, and it was I felt like at one point I wasn't doing that. So I didn't finish college yet, but I'm telling the kid to go finish college, go to finish school and go to college. So I felt almost like a hypocrite. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get that. So I went, got my college degree. But I was also telling them to follow their dreams. I'd be like, yo, you got to go follow your dreams. The reality was, once again, I was being a hypocrite because I wasn't really following my dreams. Right, I was in classical. I stuck with it. You went, I don't know where you went, for high school, and I had some incidents where I actually dropped out of school. So a lot of people don't know that. Everyone thinks I'm straight college educated and I got a GED, but I also have a college degree. But in working with kids, you tell them to go to school, finish college, and it was I felt like at one point I wasn't doing that. So I didn't finish college yet, but I'm telling the kid to go finish college, go to finish school and go to college. So I felt almost like a hypocrite. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go back. I'm going to get that. So I went, got my college degree. But I was also telling them to follow their dreams. I'd be like, yo, you got to go follow your dreams. The reality was, once again, I was being a hypocrite because I wasn't really following my dreams. So what did I do? I picked up that camera that they helped me, learn to use and develop. And when I got my first DSLR, I turned around and was like, you know what, I'm going to do this. And it was one of my kids that inspired me. So back in we'll say around 2009 is when I brought my first DSLR, and a kid that I work with, she was doing a fashion show. Alicia Stevens, I think she goes by Henderson now. She told me to come through with my camera and take pictures of her fashion show. So I did that, and one of my own youth pushing me to do it is what got me going. But there was some other deeper connections between losing my own money that made me say, I'm gonna keep doing this, because no matter what in my life, you go and you take pictures of like all these celebrities. It didn't mean nothing to me. It was the moments that I was able to create and share. That's what meant something to me, And I realized that I can't control a damn thing in my own world, with death, with my education and all that. But when I get behind that camera, I got the most control. I put everything in focus, and I can control that world when I take that snapshot. So that's what keeps me clicking. So every now and then when I'm out there, whether it's a celebrity or a kid or just a regular event, I think about my moms, and I keep doing what I'm doing,
Don't answer all the questions before I get to ask them. You checked off like 3 questions.
I told her.
Damn, dude. You was like, yo, I'm checking shit off and shit. Damn it. Damn. It's one thing taking pictures of models. It's one thing taking pictures of scenery. I see a lot of photographers that take pictures of models. I see a lot of photographers that take pictures of scenery, and they're beautiful pictures. How did you get to be able to take pictures of celebrities and then do it on such a constant basis to where now you're the man of like literally every celebrity you're the one behind the photos? How did that get to be without divulging your secrets? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, because the funny thing was, so it's a two things that happen. One, shout out to Chewy, a Sean Chewy event. When I first started, I know you know that. So when I first started, I brought a Canon 7D, and everybody was like, yo, that's a good camera because you could do video, you could do photo. I'm like, yeah, I could do both. And I ran into Chewy at this event. It was a play. And Chewy was doing interviews of the people in the play and all the people there. And I'm like, oh, you doing video? Okay, that's cool. And so he says to me, hey, what are you doing later? Mario's going to be at Coach's. You should come through with us. So I was like, yo, let me do that. So I went down to Coach's with him and took pictures. And then the next week, it was come to the Doc Hurley. Bow Wow was at the Doc Hurley, and he was with Johnny Blaze. So this was a little bit of the hype going on between them and then Bow Wow's ex situation. Anyways, I seem to find a lot of my pictures in the center of some controversies.
Damn it, man, we breaking up.
Doc Hurley and Bow Wow was there. And then I said to myself, you know what, if I'm going to be rolling with them, I might as well focus on photography and not do video. So, and when I say them, it was Troy was with Zoe of Any Video. So they were doing Any Videos thing, and then BKS, and which let me state that BKS stands for the Best Kept Secret. So the name goes way back because I used to be in a singing group in high school called the Best Kept Secret. And it stuck with me because a lot of times people don't know you have a talent, and that's usually your best kept secret. So the fact that I have photography is one of my best kept secrets that everybody seems to know right now. But so after Bow Wow and them, I got asked to come with them to go do Little Kim, and so this is what kind of like shot me out there. So Little Kim was in the hype of her beef with Nicki Minaj. Everybody wanted to know what they were doing for New Year's. So I did the New Year's show up at the Hippodrome, and I went that night, went to sleep, edited the pictures, then went to sleep. Put the pictures up the next morning. My junks just went viral. Like MTV, Hip Hop Weekly, VH1, and so forth and so forth. And my phone was ringing. Everything was going crazy. And I'm like, what's going on? When I looked, it was because the pictures had went viral. And it was like, wow. So Chewy really like hammered in, like, you should start calling yourself celebrity photographer. Now, I'm a really humble person, and it's hard for me to like really be like brag about stuff. And I don't want to be like thinking people to think I'm conceited, especially with the name Best Kept Secret. You know, it was like, let me think about it. And he was like, no, you got to call it and claim it. And literally when I did that, you go from a little Kim to freaking Patti LaBelle and, so forth. And it was just amazing. And then without revealing a lot of my secrets and everything, I teach kids to network, and with networking, I had to turn around and do a lot of that networking. That's what helped me talk to somebody I know. So shout out to Buck over at Hot 93.7, because at the Bow Wow event, me and Buck were not friends on any of the social media sites. I think I added him, and I was kind of bitter for a second because he didn't add me back. And I took a picture, and Buck was like, oh, send me those. I was like, how am I going to do that? We're not even friends. He's like, don't worry, I got you. And I was like, oh. So he knew who I was, low-key. He added me, and then ever since then, I've been doing a lot of their events for them, and so that's really helped me out with my own marketing, But that's how I do what I do.
Have you ever thought about writing a book? Without dropping names of everybody, you could be like, I was taking pictures for this artist, artist that does rap music.
The thoughts are there. This video thing right now, for now, is cool, but books might make me some monies too. So I just got to figure it out. I just need a couple more juicy stories, but I do got some. So it's like, okay, let me think about that. Get my writing game up just a little bit, or just hire somebody to do it for me and just tell them everything.
Yeah. Yo, you're welcome. I just gave you a great idea there. You know what else you should do?
I'm actually gonna write a piece in the book, so when it comes in, it was like my little chef at the bottom of it, And
you just gotta come take pictures of me. That's all. I just want to be in the book. You just gotta come take pictures. I just want to be in the book.
So, speaking of pictures, what I've learned is sometimes, like, I would be at events in the beginning, right, and I wasn't getting paid, and I said, let me work the hardest in this building so that people will notice me.
Quick question. Do you only do celeb photos, or if somebody wanted a photo and they're not a celebrity, a photo, and they're not a celebrity, could they contact you to do a celebrity type shot? Like, what if somebody wants to feel like a motherfucking celebrity and they're like, I want you to do my pictures? Could they contact you, or are you strictly celebrity photographer?
I'm a celebrity photographer. I'm a money green photographer, and I'm a photographer with a heart. You know what I'm saying? So I do things that I feel is right. I try not to break my own integrity. So I try to make things happen for people when it can't normally happen. Now, I'm not trying to get robbed or raped. That's not my thing. But I'm trying to get paid and at the same time, because I just got some new equipment. It costs money. So I've been doing events. So people will have community events, different things. So I've had contracts with certain people where I would do their events all the time. The celebrity thing, the secret is the celebrity thing is more of advertisement, because people see the celebrities, they want to feel like the celebrities. So when I come out to your party, it makes them feel good. I had a nice run of doing the clubs. And I would tell them, I got to the point where I had to tell them, I'll only do your big events. I don't want to be the guy, the photo guy. I don't want to, that's not who I am. I have an image that I'm trying to uphold, because I want people to really understand that there's quality coming from what I'm doing and stuff like that. My assistants would tell you, like, when I teach them all differently. Shout out to Shane. That was one of my longtime assistants. Shane, I think he was like my whipping boy. I had to teach him like kung fu style. So he had to do all the training and had to catch the pebble and the grasshopper, all that type of stuff. I was at seafood, but I think I taught him that wax on, wax off technique, where he'd be like, I didn't think I learned this. Yes, you have. But even when I sent him out, I used to be like, yo, we got to show that quality work. We want people to know this is what we do. So even with Eddie now, Eddie is in his beginning stages of the learning, but he's been around for quite a long time, So,
yeah. What was the best experience you had on a celebrity shoot so far?
So the best, I don't know if I would call it the best. This experience that I had, Normally, I go through like publicists or other people to get the connections to be able to do it, or somebody will just call me out the blue and be like, "Hey, we need you to do this," and I'm like, well, "Okay." This one, I went on Twitter and sent the person a message. You know, they weren't following me or anything like that. The reason why this person was important, when I dropped out of school, it's either dropped out or forced out. It depends how I want to tell the story, you know. Yeah. But when I left, the first book that I read was by Sinbad, the comedian. And I related to that story so much, and I laughed at a book. That was the first book where I felt alive reading the book. Like I felt a part of his story. So I sent him a message and I let him know that, you know, this is the first book I've ever read. You're an inspiration. He's a comedian that does not curse. I'm not going to say he doesn't curse. He doesn't curse in his performances. And he's very intellectual. And so I sent him a message. He said, because he was coming to Foxwoods, and I said to him, hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. He says, come to the show. And I was like, okay, so rolled up to Foxwoods, and I think I had like a minute to spare before he got on stage, and asked one of the ushers, and you know, Sinbad told me to come check him, and I'm like, this dude gonna laugh at me. He gonna think I'm BSing him, and he kind of laughed. He went to the back. He asked Sinbad. He came back and looked. He was like with that puzzled look, like he said he'll see you after the show, and I'm like, okay. And then I'm getting ready to walk out because I ain't had no tickets. I'm a poor brother. I don't got that much money. I just try to make it look good. And he's like, he said to get you tickets if you don't have any tickets. So they put me like close to front, and I just sat and chilled. They gave me drink tickets. I was high off the experience that I did not need any drinks. Went to the back. Now, I'm around celebrities all the time, so I like to act like they're regular people. I don't be all over them and nothing like that. Went to the back, and Sinbad's standing there, and I'm standing there, and he goes, hey, and I'm like, nothing. But needless to say, I've shot him like 3 or 4 times, and ever since then we've had conversations. We sat. I went out one night, and it was like his birthday or something like that. He brought drinks for people and didn't even drink himself. He had water, you know, and it was like, okay, but it was to have that type of experience that meant the world for me. It was putting it out there. It was saying, I want to meet this person. I'm gonna do that, and it happened. And it was a whim, and I followed it. So that's why, like, I'm a true believer in following your dreams. You know.
Shout out your Instagram one more time for the people that might not know.
So I am at BKS Photographs on all social media. Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook is BKS Photographs. So there may be a space in between, and that's usually where all my photos are. I just want to let Ed, he got his own thing. Ed, you're on.
What's going on, man?
He got his own thing going on. He's at E Brown Promo. So I never really get to shout him out. Like I said, he does a lot for me and helping me get to where I got to go and do the things that I got to do. So we're trying to build and do some stuff. I want him to link with you so that he could probably interview you because he has his own podcast. What is it called, Ed?
Live to Inspire. Live to Inspire, Total Brown Radio. We find it on SoundCloud. Search Total Brown Radio. Live to Inspire.
So
that's what's up.
So you can come out there and talk. You always interviewing people, so let him interview you about what you got going on and get out on. We can cross, do all this stuff with the media. Maybe I could, because he'll do it in the studio. I could come and shoot some photos up. So
appreciate this interview, brother.